Okay, we'll go ahead and get started. Thank you for being here. I am Christine Reed. I'm coming to you from Allen Hancock College, which is in Santa Maria, California. You are attending a seminar which is put on by our C6 Alliance group. If you haven't heard of that before, we are a group of STEM California community colleges on the Central Coast who collaborate together to bring resources to our STEM students amongst the community colleges on the Central Coast. We start all the way up at Cabrillo College in Santa Cruz, and then down to MPC in Monterey, and Cuesta College in San Luis, and then Hancock in Santa Maria, and then Santa Barbara City College, and then into Ventura for Ventura Oxnard and Moore Park. So welcome. We're really thankful that you're here today. I'm also so excited to have Hector here today from UC Merced to talk about all the STEM resources and opportunities at UC Merced. I love this campus. I was invited to go there a year ago for an educator's tour and just fell in love with the opportunities that students have who are STEM majors. So Hector, thank you for being here today, and I turn the floor over to you.
Well, thank you, Christine, and welcome everybody. We love transfer students at Merced. I like transfer students, my team does. Maybe because I was a transfer student and it took me 3 years to graduate. I was not college bound, but someone came to our school and they pulled me out and told me about this program. And I said, well, I'll try it. I couldn't do it during the summer because I was working, but I got into this EOP type program and it made all the difference in the world. Transferring to a University of California campus, whether it be UC or UC Berkeley or a CSU or a private school, is fine. I'd love you to consider UC Merced and come. But if you end up in one of those other places, it's a win for everybody. And that's important because it will transform your life in positive ways that you can't even think of. It'll provide you a continuum of career and educational opportunities. Well, let me get started about admissions at UC Merced. We're very proud because we're barely 20 years old and we're a major research to university. But we just got voted #1 by the Wall Street Journal, which is a very good and conservative paper for social economic ability. It's the #2 here. And that means that with the students that we work that come from mainly the Central Valley, often underrepresented first generation students, that we are able to bring them in, work with them in the classroom, outside the classroom, and get them out into career paying jobs or graduate school or medical school or dental school or wherever they want to go. And we are proud that we can do that with the majority of our students. So if you have aspirations or dreams and you can do it here, UC Merced will put you out there where you want to be once you graduate. You can quickly look at some of the other rankings. We're 15 among all U.S. universities, top 100 among public, top 20 among 15 schools with research 2 status, which for those of you in the STEM fields is going to be very, very important. We're also the greenest and most sustainable campus. Why do students come to Merced? Well, we're small. We're about 8,500 undergrads and a little bit more, about 9,000 with grad students. That means that our faculty to student ratios are 22-1. So for every 22 students, we have 1 faculty. That means the majority of your courses, particularly coming as a transfer student, are going to be small, 20, 25, 30 maybe, but you can talk with the students, you can talk with your faculty member. Well, we have student success support in so many ways that if you want some kind of academic or personal support, believe me, you'll find it here, and we'll get you there if you need it. Undergraduate research opportunities. We have an office that is so big now. It's called the Undergraduate Research Opportunity Center, and they just got doubled in funding. They have research opportunities in every field, not only in the STEM fields, but the humanities and social science and psychology and stuff like that, where you can do research with a faculty member during the year, or a paid research opportunity during the summer where you spend $30 a week doing researching, 10 hours professional development, working, in a paid position that pays your room and board, pays you a stipend, and pays for the research experience. That office is tremendous. We have about 10 agencies internal to Merced that are affiliated with that. So a lot of things to do, a lot of cutting edge technology. Yes, we do have a lot of clubs and organizations. And the reason that's important is that you're going to learn inside the classroom and you're going to learn outside the classroom. Clubs and organizations is one way to do that, where you can join something or start something of interest and become a leader, become a project manager, become the treasurer, become the associate vice president, or just manage a project where you get real life skills that our employers really like to see. Okay, so 99% of UC Merced students come from California. You can see that the northern California is a little bit more, 26 from the Central Valley, 40 from the Southern California, and about 0.44 non-residential. That's out-of-state students. And we're 63% of our students, first-year students, and 65 new transfers are first-generation students. I'm going the wrong way, sorry. There we go. Okay, it's just that we have these pages coming in different ways. Okay, let me give you some basics that you probably know or have been hearing about, but you need to have the specifics on, is what does it take to transfer to a four-year college? Well, 60 transferable units. Those transferable units have to be to our University of California campus, 90 if you're in a quarter unit system. You each need a 2.40 if you're a resident and 2.8 if you're a non-resident. There is one exception. Public health requires 3.0. The other, well, I'll call it an exception too. If you do a TAG, a transfer admissions guarantee, then you'll get in as a guarantee you fulfill those classes. But the GPAs go up a little bit. They're 2.8 for the social science and humanities and the arts, 2.9 for natural sciences, and 3.0 GPA for the engineering. And that's if you do a tag. But you take no more than 14 semesters pass, no pass. Our 7-course pattern is your English courses that you need to take, English writing, English level college courses, a math that has at least intermediate algebra in it as a requisite, and 4 courses where you can take 2 from the following areas: behavioral and social sciences, humanity, the arts, and then the physical and biological sciences. So not too much to transfer to any UC, and this goes pretty much, I think, for the CSUs. Just so you know, our application deadline is from October to December 2nd. We extended that. We may extend it again. And you just have one application, and then you can select which of the UCs you want that application to go. All of us will be there, so you can choose UC Merced if you like, Riverside, Berkeley, UCLA, they're all there. Each time you choose one, though, you need to pay $80 for that application. But one application, one set of questions, and you're done. We have housing on campus. We guarantee housing for 1 year for transfer students and 2 years for first-year students. We're also building a new transfer housing building that should be completed within the next year and a half, so we can house another 400 or 500 transfers on our campus. You can also live off campus. There are lots of communities of students, and people live in rooms and houses and whatnot. Just an example of some of the 240 clubs and things that they do. These are just some. Obviously, there are a lot more. Some are academic, some are actually do scientific and build solo cars and stuff like that. But a lot to do there. And once you get here and you meet these individuals, you will find that you have a fulfilling experience in and outside the classroom. We also have entertainment. These are just some examples of some entertainment we've had in the past, and we have that and new entertainment come to campus every year, every month, actually, from singers to poets to, famous musicians and whatnot, and actors and plays and whatnot. We are now NCAA Division II, and we're on our way to compete at that level. If any of you like to compete in basketball, cross country, soccer, volleyball, water polo, or track, that's what we have now. We're also thinking of adding baseball, softball, cross country. We have cross country and what was the other one? I forget. But we're adding a few more sports as we go down the line. And then we have some great club sports if you don't want to play in the NCAA AA athletic division. Okay. I thought I'd start with engineering, because we'll go to the other STEM majors beyond engineering, because we have quite a few new engineering programs, and these you should see. Aerospace engineering. We have an aerospace engineering club that started by students. We have aerospace engineering companies like Rockwell and others come and recruit our students. And they do many other things with drones and whatnot. We also added biochemical and biomolecular engineering, which is brand new. And what was the other one that should be on it? I think it's on here. Let's see. Chemical. Oh, this management of innovation, sustainability, and technology. It's a new BA. So it combine, if people are interested in technology, innovative things that have to do with sustainability, it can train you to do a lot of different things and make things and work in a lot of different industries. So as you can see, we have biomedical instrumentation, biotechnology, chemical engineering, material science, which is related to chemical engineering, civil, both structural and the water side, computer science and engineering with AI taking off like crazy, and cybersecurity. But we also have several data science and analytics BA here. And that is a very popular area now to study and to follow as a career. And these are just some of the emphasis, from business analytics to policy analytics. Electrical engineering is fairly new. And here are some of the interesting, I think, very interesting emphasis: ground and aerial robotics, sustainable energy, environmental engineering, BS, and then that management that sustainability that I talked about, with some possible other emphasis here. Material science and engineering, which separate it from chemical engineering. They have computation, nanotechnology, and semiconductor. Mechanical engineering is widely popular here, and all kinds of organizations hire mechanical engineers. And so we have some minors there. Before I get that, let me just go back to this page. Oops. Let's see. And, okay, so now if I can get off, okay, I do this, and then should find it. It should be right behind here. I wanted to show you, yes, here it is. UC Merced, along with about 58 community colleges, and it's spreading, has something called Pathway Program Mapper. It's pretty good because not only does it tell you about the majors and possible careers, but the salaries that are currently being earned by students graduating with these bachelor's and master's degrees in these areas of engineering or natural science. So if I click on engineering, okay, you can see that we have them all there. So let's pick bioengineering as an example. It certainly will tell you what a bioengineer is, and in designing and analyzing systems to develop biomedical technologies, and on in problem solving. And they're in high demand in many industries such as healthcare, pharmaceuticals, biotechnology. But what's interesting is this is very up-to-date information on their salary, growth, and careers. You can start from 91K up to 225K, depending on maybe how many degrees you have, how much experience you have, and what you're bringing to the table as an individual and your technology and stuff. The growth is between 2022 and 2032 is going to be 6.2%, which is a nice steady climb, because there'll be jobs. And this other one here has to do with the job growth, but also the average salary. 201K is the average salary. Okay, and just this one field. The program map, if you followed it, takes you every course you need to take at Santa Cruz. And at some point we have, and if you wanted to, I don't think it has it for your college, darn, no. Sometimes it has it, if your college has one, then you can see what you need to take as prep courses to get into this major. Okay, but let's take a look at another one here. Anybody want to put out, anybody want to look at a major here? Chemical, civil, computer science? You can put it in the chat, maybe. You can let one of us know somehow. Any particular one? All right, let me try computer science and engineering. Okay, now the job salary growth here is similar, a little higher starting, but I know in terms of looking at current salaries and jobs in technology, this 225 is an average, and people are getting at some places 300,000 plus as software engineers in this area here. but in computer science. If you know AI, that's even better. Cybersecurity, there's still lots of great areas to work in. And the job growth is going to be steady. The AI is just going to completely take over most of the jobs. So a lot of software engineers are picking up machine learning and things like that, deep learning, so that they can keep up with the skills. Let's go back to natural science, if you don't mind, because I want to show you there, besides being a physician, where many students want to be, or an optometrist, or eye doctor, or ear, nose, and throat doctor, or whatever type of physician or nurse practitioner. I know that the sciences are important, but you can do a lot of other things in the sciences. In Silicon, not well, beyond Silicon Valley, in South San Francisco is the hotbed of of sciences. They're life sciences, but they're geared more to biomedical sciences. They're the biotech world kind of lives in that area, and there are just companies that proliferated there and still growing. New ones that are already are IPO, and lots of startups really searching for scientists to couple with engineers, to couple with, doctors. And so let's look at biological science, the Bachelor of Arts. Okay. So that's not too bad, but you can see the significance in the range of salaries. Sometimes if you just get out with a Bachelor of Arts in biological science and you went to work for a lab, you'd be and working in a wet lab, you would be sort of doing the work of the senior scientists and stuff, besides cleaning lab equipment and setting things up and precision measuring things precisely. That was probably how you would start until you get a master's or PhD. Then you can start climbing the ladder up to 230K. And those salaries fluctuate, but the job growth is still good. A lot of that biotech industry is still growing out there in South San Francisco. And an average salary, again, if you're more towards a bachelor's degree, it's going to be 44K. A master's would get you higher, maybe in the 76 range. And that's why you want to do something that maybe get a bachelor's, but maybe go back and get a master's or PhD. Or you can go into business. All these majors, there's a lot of things you can devise in terms of careers. And I think that's what's exciting nowadays. And if we went to, let's say, environmental systems science. Okay, the green industry, which is growing. And you can see here now, similar to biology, some low salaries at 50K starting out. Maybe just an analyst just starting out with a company, and then you get more experience or a master's or a PhD, and then you can go up into the 239,000 year per year level. It has a smaller but steady growth. People maybe tend to stay longer with these companies here, and an average then would be 142K for that environmental system science. Let's look at one more. But chemistry. Oh, physics. We have a lot of physics majors. Physics is really good for so many careers. One of our physics faculty who's known worldwide does this fantastic solar research energy and involves her students in it. Okay, somewhat similar to biology, a little higher in one end, but a little lower on the other end, and sort of an average 108K per year. So the sciences aren't going to change a lot, but it depends on the experience and the educational level you have. So you can see there's a 5.6 job growth that's going to be up to 2032. And again, 44K is an average salary. I think part of it depends on if you're just working in a lab and doing basic stuff. My thinking is if you're going into science, you should be thinking about an advanced degree, master's, but perhaps a PhD. A lot of the summer undergraduate programs do just that. They prepare you for graduate school so you can get that PhD in science. And they help you do those kind of things. So these are some of the I just want to see anything else we want to look in electrical. Data science and analytics. Data science and analytics is both in the School of Natural Sciences and the School of Engineering. One's a Bachelor of Arts and the other one's a Bachelor of Science. And each year we send students to Lawrence Livermore Lab because they get to spend 2 weeks working in it, building projects, competing with other campuses. And it's a competitive process. But we fill that every summer. And if you want to do something like that, you could do that. But these individuals are just being snapped up. And it's an area that is going to supports a lot of the other work that gets done in AI and in a lot of research areas. And this is expanding with AI as well. Let's see okay, yeah, 50K starting out, 165 middle and 239. Nice higher level paying job at there. Now good job growth, 18.9. This we decided to put these majors in from a research grant that 6 of our math and other faculty put together on big data. When I first came to Santa Cruz, I worked with a faculty member and we put on 2 big data summits to bring in the people that were doing it, to show what was current, and to show our students who would be potential hires for them. And it's just taken off bigger. Now that we have it in our curriculum, it's going to stay and morph in different ways. Okay, so let me get back to the Zoom. Let's see. No, not that one. My Zoom. Let me close this for a minute. Okay, and then let me start this here again. So as you can see, we have quite a bit, I think, in STEM majors. What you don't know yet is there are more coming. One of the things that's been happening over decades, and when I worked at UC Davis, we had 52 departments, science departments that were interdisciplinary. That means you had engineers working with chemists, with biologists, with plant biologists, with nutritionists, with whatever science, on whatever particular research topic of interest at the time. And that's the way lot of things are going. They're more interdisciplinary, and you'll find individuals from backgrounds working together on similar problems to cure cancer, to cure, come up with great new ways and faster ways of doing things. So that's what you need to keep in mind. Okay. Oops. No, I wanted to natural science. Okay. I just wanted to spend a few minutes in our natural sciences because you can see all the emphasis in mathematics, in applied mathematics. We have some great faculty in that department. I just like them a lot. They're so good with students and us, and they really take their work serious. But you can see computational and data sciences, computational biology, computer science, econ, engineering, environmental physics. Biochemistry is new. That's a very popular major. Um, Biological sciences new with well, let's see. Well, I think what they should have put, we have a new Bachelor of Arts in biology. One of the big differences is it does not require organic chemistry, while the BS does. And I think that's what they meant to put in there. That's new. And then some more traditional, different things in chemistry you can do. And here's data science and computing BS. The other one was data science and analytics, Bachelor of Arts. This is a little more technical with the Bachelor of Science and the computing added to it. So you have options there. And they have some emphasis, applied mathematics, biology, chemistry, environmental sciences, material science, and engineering physics, ecology, evolution, and conservation biology. Now that's a brand new major. Okay. And well, no, I want to go the other way. Public health, it's the only major that requires a 3.0. It does have a pre-health emphasis. But we have Earth and I can use this, and climate science and ecosystem science. And then physics. We have a lot of faculty and students in physics because they do everything from astrophysics to biophysics to computation. Quantum science is being done at Merced and these others that you see here. So, and then of course we have minors. Okay, what do you want me to do? There we go. That was our social sciences. We also have things you can do right in the backyard of Yosemite. We have a Yosemite Leadership Program. We have the Sierra Nevada Research Institute field station, things like Shakespeare in Yosemite. We have a whole lot of students doing research up there during the year and in the summer. And then some of them participate in the leadership program. Some of them want to become park rangers. Some want to do other kinds of things. It's a very active program. You can also go education abroad. We also have a campus in Washington, D.C., UC DC, and UC Sacramento for the state capital there, near there. And those programs allow you to do internships. And while you're there, you're going to school. You're getting 14 units. It's just it's a semester abroad, but in Washington and one in Sacramento. And we have the World Heritage Research Experience Scholars. And then a lot of our classes do software capstones where you work on a project that sort of culminates everything you studied in that particular field to come up with something very applied or practical. We really push professional development. And we have professional development organizations on campus that will get you to be ready to interview, to have great resume, to network, to just go up and talk with people, to tell your elevator pitch or tell me about your sales story. We've got at least 8 great counselors that do that in our Stanford Career Center. We have 13 research, let's go back. We have 13 research facilities in institutes and centers on campus. We had one where we work with jet propulsion labs, had a couple of people work on the space Mars module. And let's see what's going on here. I'm not sure. Somehow my oh, okay. We have a lot of support services. These are just a few of them. We have one for transfer, returning, and veteran center. We have STEP programs via locks. Just others that can mentor you, can tutor you in econ and math, whatever it is that you need in writing. We have guardian scholars for those in the foster youth system. And we have student accessibility services, which are important because if you come with some documented disorders, you can get extra time for that. You can get, help with that. And we have a care office and we have basic needs. And this is our career center. I saved that best for last, I guess. They are amazing. They have 3 career fairs a year. They have 2, one in the fall, one in the spring, and then they have a reverse career fair where they invite all the student organizations to be on the campus with their tables, and the employers go to table to meet them and collect resumes and talk with them. And I think that's why we're number one in that area. We really engage our students more than just being in the classroom and help you so that when you leave, you got that foundational career. These are some of the companies that our students have worked at: Amazon, Chevron, Google, NASA, Workday, Vanguard, Financial, LinkedIn, Genentech, just a variety of them. And there's others, and some of the graduate schools that our students have gone on to, whether it be public health, PhD program, medical school, you name it. They have gone on, and transfer students in particular. We have faculty that are transfer students, and we have very notable graduates that are transfer students. And I'd like to finally say that 86% of our transfer students graduate, and generally in that 2 years, maybe 3 sometimes. And we have a good retention rate and a good job placement rate. So I'd like to say that. But anyways, I think I'm getting towards the end. Oh yes, this has a morph different ways, this entrepreneurship and business development. And if you are that kind of person that you can develop something, have original ideas, there are many ways to get involved and get your business going, or whatever it is that you're trying to develop. So we do that at UC Merced. Our management business economics faculty, there are a few that are entrepreneurs, and they teach in this area. This is a picture of a beautiful campus. We doubled in size. we just think it's a great self-contained educational and social place to be. It's small, but I like that part. I've worked at UCLA, I mean at UC Davis, at UC Riverside, no, UC Santa Cruz, and now at Merced. And so I worked at a very big UC Davis, which is much different. And I think some people like, if you like a smaller campus that is very well put together, I would encourage you to come to Merced. But again, whether you go to another UC or somewhere else, that's a win for us. It just goes over the filing period again. Oh, yes. We have middle class scholarship. The other thing I do want to talk about is that you can afford UC Merced. UC Merced awards more grants and scholarships than our sister UC campuses. Some of the average grants that they get, and the grants you don't have to pay back for, can go up to $28,000 in all kinds of forms. Then there's federal work study where you can earn some money, and there's a way you can get a job on campus because it's the best place to work. You can not have to work so much during finals and midterms. And this slide shows, yes, we would be at 43,000 for your cost versus 24,000 for a CSU. But with $29,000 in gift aid, that's Cal Grant A, Pell Grant, and Bobcat Grant. The university is getting very well endowed. We're raising millions of dollars, which we are first trying to put to grants so that it can deter or help with the student tuition. So I just want you to know that it is affordable, and there's different ways to do this. You can live on. The other thing is, if you have your own health insurance, where I'm kind of have the arrow here under UC Merced, that $2,662. If your parents have health insurance, you can waive that. That saves you $2,600 right there. You live off campus, it's cheaper. Okay. This is assuming that you're living on campus. And that's why the food and housing is 21,000. So a lot of students will do it for a year. And then there's a lot of nice places around here that you can live with other students. And if you haven't, like Christine and the students she came with, boy, I tell you, it'd be worth coming out and having a tour. You can do virtual tours as well. And we have them here, and you can find them on our website. But we probably should bring Christine, we should bring you out again for a tour with some students. And maybe some labs and a lunch and something like that.
We are actually coming to
Oh,
your
yeah.
campus December the 13th. We will be there with Hancock students and hopefully even maybe some Cuesta students. So we are starting to run some joint trips to work together to make this happen.
December 13th. Okay.
Mhm.
And do you know when time you'll probably get there? Just
I want to say 10 o'clock.
okay.
Yeah.
Well, just so that we can maybe put together things that the students would like to see as well as a standard tour.
Yeah, and I would love to get more of the campuses in the Alliance to do similar trips. So we'll be working on that.
Okay, and anything I can do, let me help you. Well, I hope this was helpful. I just kind of went through it quickly, and try to highlight both the campus and why I think it's great and how to get here and how to qualify for here, but also what we offer, I think is amazing. And we have world-class faculties. The thing about a UC that's different from a CSU is that the faculty write the books. Sometimes you're reading the books the faculty wrote, that's what they get paid for. Like scholarship and research is their big, that's what they're all about. And then hopefully they're friendly too in between. But I've met in the 3 UCs I worked at, I've met great faculty. I worked for a while at Stanford University and I met some great faculty too. And they can be your best friend as a student. And they know of things that some people don't know. Like, call my friend and he'll get you this internship, that kind of stuff. All right. Anyways, that's all I had today. Anything else? Any questions? I didn't even know what.
You're doing great, Hector. Thank you so much. Anybody have questions? Chat, so I think we're good. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate that. And
Oh,
I will see you on the 13th, and we'll also
definitely.
be posting this on our website so other students can enjoy it. Thank you so much.
Okay, I hope it was what you needed, and I'm just happy to work with you and your students. Okay?
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for attending.